to talk about another thing that we can get involved in here. These are plants called CAM plants. Who's heard of a CAM plant before? Anyone? So it means that these plants, it's called crassulation acid metabolism. And basically plants turn up in certain areas because they're there for a purpose. Weeds do the same thing. They're there as a signpost of something that's lacking or something there's too much of or some particular condition. In this instance, these CAM plants are things like succulents and cactuses that grow where there really isn't any humus. In sandy soils and totally desertified situations, they show up. And their role is to build humus, and they're designed to build humus much more efficiently than any other plant on the planet. They actually open their stomates at night. It's a completely different deal. And so they're really like humus building machines. Now you've got a plant here, for example, along those lines called Boom or something like that. Is that I got it right? That's the name. And the deal with these plants and their potential to sequester serious amounts of carbon is that they're the easiest thing to propagate in the world. You can take boom. You could have every unemployed person in this country, in fact every country of the world, with a backpack on their back filled with a little piece of these succulents, and that's one example that would be brilliant in your country, and you just poke it in the ground. It doesn't matter about water, it doesn't need water, it will carry on subdividing and developing as a plant, and you could, it really is an incredible kind of concept that we need to be looking at as one of the strategies. But one interesting CAM plant, because most of them are all succulents or cactuses or something like your speckboom, but one interesting one is a fascinating tree called the moringa tree. Who's heard of the moringa tree before? Oh, I've got a couple of people who know about it. It's become a superfood in recognition that this plant that grows 15 foot in a year, this tree, is the most nutrient dense, unbelievable cattle feed or stock feed. But why would you feed the cattle? Because it's unbelievable human feed. The bean tastes like asparagus. The leaves you can put in salads or you can dry them. You just cut the branches off, hang it upside down in the shade, and strip the leaves and powder them, and they powder quite easily when they're dried. So very low tech kind of harvesting is possible with it. And that powder is absolutely insanely nutrient dense. It's an anti-inflammatory, it's jam-packed with antioxidants, it's got like 15 times more of this and 17 times more of that than the next closest plant. It is a wonder food. And the fascinating thing about this thing, where you can grow 1,100 per hectare, and you can yield first year about 5 kilos, at 6 kilos at $5 a kilo, this is in third world figures. You can make $33,000 at the prices they're paying in India, $33,000 a hectare from this plant at the speed that it grows. But the fascinating thing is that here's a plant that isn't a succulent or a cactus, that is a CAM plant that pumps and improves, and you dig under the one of them, where earthworms everywhere, because it's one of these plants that is a humus building machine. So how good is that as an option that we can be looking at and feeding the world at the same time?